Hey y'all, welcome back to Not So Big Matt. I'm Matt, and I'm going to try to shoot a meal prep video for you this week. I've got planned to do salsa chicken, which is a recipe that we do a lot for our meal preps. I'm going to have that for Elena to take to lunch next week. And then I'm going to do a skinny version of General Tso's chicken for me to take to work next week. The salsa chicken is really simple. It's just a few steps. I'll get that one finished first and get it in the oven, and then I'm going to go ahead and start prepping the General Tso's. There's a lot more steps to it. I know I've got a few extra things I have to do. There's the sauce and everything with it. It's going to be skinnied by no extra fats, no oil, and I'm not doing it fried. It'll be with just like pan-seared or sauteed chicken. So it's going to be a little bit lighter version. And I'll have all the points and stuff as I do it and get to the end of the videos. I'll try to also have calories and all that included also, because I've been dual logging here lately, so I've got everything in MyFitnessPal as well as the Weight Watchers app. So stick with me and we'll see how this goes. Alright, so what I'll do to start with is I'm going to go ahead and take I've got a 9x11 or 9x13 pan, and I'm going to spray it with cooking spray, and I'm just using Great Value canola oil spray. Most all of the cooking sprays are 0 points for Weight Watchers, so they really don't count for anything, no calories and such, so I'm going to spray it really good. Alright, that should be good. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put 1 pack of this chicken. So I got 4.5 pounds of chicken in each one of these packs. And one will go for the salsa chicken and the other one will go for the General Tso's. So I'll go ahead and preheat my oven too also to I'm going to go a little bit more than 350, but 350 should be fine. So I'll do that. Go ahead and get that going. If you hear some like jingling noise or a bunch of chewing on things or scratches and stuff, that's my dogs. They're running around while I'm shooting, so just kind of have to overlook that. I'm just going to get these in here. And let me throw this away. And I'm going to wash my hands off really quick, because raw chicken is no bueno, no good. Alright. Alright. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think, is I'll just season it a little bit with some, I usually use a little bit of seasoned salt. So let me hit it with some seasoned salt. Just like that. And I'll put a little bit of pepper on it. Not much, just a little bit. And then basically you just take, I'm going to use the whole jar of this Great Value brand thick and chunky mild salsa, and just pour that across the top. Okay, and then my wife does not like anything very spicy, so we're mild here. This is a little bit of mild Taco Bell taco sauce, and this is 0 points on Weight Watchers, which is a big deal. I love this stuff. I usually use fire for myself, but for Elena we go low octane. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that on there too. And then kind of just give it a little bit of a mix, not much. and just make sure that it covers all the chicken up pretty good. And it can run, it's going to puddle anyway, so when it comes out you'll see that it'll be sitting in the chicken juice and stuff. But this should kind of bake up a little bit with kind of like a crusty type thing. Or at least, yeah, the salsa should sort of stick a little bit to the top. So that's it for that. I'm going to wait for my oven to preheat, and then I'll throw that in, like I said, for about a half an hour, give or take. Alright, so while I'm waiting for the oven to preheat so I can get this put in there, I'm going to go ahead and cut up this chicken because it needs to be in smaller pieces, kind of like bite size, make it a little easier for me to deal with. So let me get that open and cut up. I just trim everything, try to trim as much fat away as I can so that it's as lean as possible. I usually end up with a pile of fat and stuff that I have to get rid of, but that's okay. I probably waste, I mean, I don't know how much, but I'll waste a pretty good bit actually at the end, by the time I'm finished. Just getting rid of, just trimming, and I don't mind to trim a little extra. This stuff is relatively cheap when you buy it in the big packs like this, so I'm pretty good with it. And I'm just gonna sort of slice it into some strips, and then I will, let me get this finished up and I'll go ahead and get that stuck into the oven. So I'm just kind of making, I don't know, these are a little bit bigger than bite-sized pieces, but that's okay because it should shrink up a little bit when you cook it. You know, little 1 inch to 2 inch squares would be good. And I'm just going to put these into a bowl until I'm ready to cook them. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and stick this, let me use my clean hand, go ahead and get this in the oven. Alright, and I'm going to set a timer for about a half an hour, probably 30, I'll probably go 35 minutes. And let me, I'll probably go ahead and stop the video for a second, and I'll come back after I've got all these trimmed and chunked. There's no sense in you sitting here watching me cut chicken breast. That's silly. Alright, so I got all my chicken chunked up. There it is. There. See? Ready? Yeah. I've also went ahead and washed my hands, washed my cutting board and my knife, so I'm ready to start doing what little bit of prep I need to do for the general sows. So to start with, I'm going to cut up about 4 green onions. So I've already washed these. I suggest if you use them, you wash them because they get nasty stuff that grows in between the layers, and that's never good. So I'm gonna cut the ends off to start with and get rid of those. I don't usually leave that on. Get rid of the root. Okay, and so the recipe that I've kind of took this from was actually from the Weight Watchers app, but I sort of changed it up a little bit because I'm never satisfied with point values. I feel like there's always a chance to slim stuff back a little bit more if you're trying. Like I'm always trying to make my meals as low a point as possible. Just, I guess really not for any particular reason aside from just to see if I can do it and see how well it'll be, even if it has been thinned out a good bit. So I guess I should also say that my normal day of eating on the Weight Watchers Blue plan is anywhere between, and y'all don't get shocked, like people are probably going to give me flack for this, but I don't eat anywhere near the suggested amount of points for my weight. I think right now Weight Watchers gives me somewhere around 52 points per day, and that's just ludicrous to me. I just don't, I mean, I know that at my weight I require more calories. Well, if I was hungry more, I would eat more calories. I just don't feel the need to do so. I'm not hungry usually during the day, and I make it work. But I typically eat most days between, I don't know, probably 15 to 25 points is a normal day for me. And I've been dual logging my food here this last month, and I'm usually below 2,000 calories. So I've had a few days where I was at 2,100, 2,200, or 2,300 calories, but for the most part I usually stay around 1,700 or 1,800 calories per day. And like I said, it works for me because if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. I do try to eat a very, very high protein, as much protein as I can, as much as I can stomach. And you'll see, I'm going to do what I eat in a day here probably in the next week or so. So you'll kind of get an idea of what does that look like for me in a day. I kind of want to show that because I do get a lot of protein, and that really holds me over really well. I need a garbage bowl. I should invest in a garbage bowl. But for now, I'm just going to toss to the sink. That's a good place for it. The sink is the garbage bowl. Okay. Alright, so then I did that. And now I'm gonna go ahead and mince up or chop up a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes. Let me get my spoons, because I need about 1.5 teaspoons, and I'm going to chop them so that they're not big chunks, because that'd be a rude awakening to bite into one of these and just kind of eat up with it. So there's 1.5 teaspoons, and I'm just going to run my knife through it. I like a lot of spice, like I said earlier. I'm a big proponent of the fire sauce. So my wife is mild and I'm spicy. I like it spicy. So I'm just gonna do a quick sort of try not to make too big of a mess, even though I know it's gonna, because seeds, but it's all. Alright, the video cut out on us in the middle of this, but so I'm trying not to end up with crushed red pepper over the entire kitchen, which is posing a slight problem, and that's one of my pups. I probably should have put this in a spice grinder. I have one, but I don't know why I didn't do that. Anyway, alright, so that's all kind of done up, about as good as it's going to get. And I've only got a little bit of a mess, which I will worry about later. Okay, so now that I've got those two things done, the next step will be I was going to go ahead and put some broccoli on, but I think I'm going to wait and do it after a while. I'm just going to, all I'm going to do there is I've got I think it's a 2-pound bag of broccoli florets. I'm going to put in a pot and kind of steam. And then after it's done steaming, I'm going to throw it into a frying pan with a little bit of this Kung Pao stir fry sauce and just kind of coat it really well and heat it up. That's what I'm going to do to go with my General Tso's, because I don't usually eat rice. It's too high in points for me. If you want to. So, all right. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start the sauce. And for it, I'm going to use. Let me get these green onions moved. I'm going to use 2 1/4 cups of chicken broth. And I'm just using Great Value chicken broth. So I'll start with, this is a 2-cup measure. You can't really see it very well, but it says it in there. So alright, 2 cups. And then 1/4 cup. Put the lid back on that. Okay, and then I'm gonna do. So I've got it estimated about 3 ounces of Kikkoman's low sodium soy sauce. I already measured this out in tablespoons because I don't have a lot, and I didn't have any more. I didn't have another bottle. I'm a little bit shy, a little bit less than 3 ounces. So, and like I said, I kind of took this recipe and lightened it up from the Weight Watchers app. I think the original recipe was, called for 2 tablespoons of the soy sauce. So I'm not going. Even though I'm doing an extra 3 pounds of chicken, because I think the recipe only called for a pound of chicken, I'm not quadrupling everything. I'm doing like a 3. I'm kind of increasing the sauce by 3, and I'm got 4.5 pounds of chicken, minus what I trashed for scrap. So, all right, and then I need 3 tablespoons of white vinegar, and I'm using Pompeian white wine vinegar. Oh, it's white wine vinegar, not white vinegar. So I'll do 3 tablespoons of this. Alright. And then I'm going to use 6 tablespoons of Splenda. Now, this is what I use for my coffee most of the time. I haven't been using it lately, but the recipe called for 6 tablespoons of sugar, and I just can't. I just can't. I can't do sugar. I can't count points on something. I can get sweetener somewhere else. So, or it didn't call for 6 tablespoons. I think it called for 2. But we're going to go 6 because we're tripling. And this is the off brand. I think it's Walmart brand. You can use whatever your favorite sweetener. Like I said, I'm trying to cut the points down. You could definitely use sugar if you wanted to. Just count the points on it. I guess you could use Swerve. I'm a big fan of Swerve sweetener. Also, I think I have stevia. You can use whatever sweetener that you like. It doesn't matter. And again, use sugar if you want to, but you have to count the points, and it'll be a higher point value than what I'm going to have at the end of the video. The next thing is ground ginger. I'm going to go with, oh, this has never been opened. So I'm going to go with 1.5 teaspoons of ground ginger. Get this open. The last time I did an Asian inspired meal, I used real ginger, I minced it up, and Okay, I'm just going to say that that's pretty close to it because a bunch of it just fell in there anyway, so we'll say that's a teaspoon-and-a-half. Hopefully it wasn't too much. Anyway, last time I did it with the ginger root, and it was really good, so hopefully this will work out pretty well too. And then I need, I'm going to go ahead and give this a little quick knock the solids down, sort of. And then I'm going to add in 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. And I'm going to try to do that while I'm kind of mixing, so it doesn't sink all to the bottom and I got to scrape a bunch out of the bottom, because that's no fun. I'm probably going to have to anyway, but it'll be okay. Yeah, that didn't really do anything for me. I'm just gonna throw all 4 of them in there, and then I'll try to whisk it down. Okay. It's a lot different when you're doing this for a video than you're just, you're not doing it for just a normal everyday thing. So let me get this scraped up off the bottom, and then I might hit it with a whisk. It's one thing about cornstarch, when it gets into, let's see, I'll check them here in just a few minutes. That's one thing about cornstarch. When it hits liquid, it kind of goes straight to the bottom every time. So I know before I put this in on the chicken, after I get it started browned, I know that it's going to be, I'm going to have to stir it again. It smells really, really good already, so hopefully that's good luck, or hopefully that's a good sign, and it's actually going to work out pretty well. Alright, let me go ahead and pull the other chicken out of the oven. Let's see how this looks. Alright, let me check. I got my food thermometer here. And let's just see. Oh, that's not, I don't think that's even quite close at all. No, that's like 125. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in for another probably 15 minutes. So we were at half an hour there. It's going to be about 45, I think, to get it done. And I will, let me get that out of the way. Let me sit this back in. This spoon here is what I used a bit ago. Okay. Okie dokie. Now we'll go another 15. Okay. Alright, so now that I've got the sauce started, the next step is going to be to get, let's see, chop that, Yep, let me get a frying pan, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now the recipe that was on the Weight Watchers app said to use I think it said peanut oil, and I'm not counting those points either because I can do it with cooking spray. Like I'm not gonna spend points unless I have to. So, like I said, I'm really stingy about it. I try to go as easy on stuff as I can as far as my point values are concerned. And this is just one way for me to try to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going. I'm going to go a little bit above medium. It's like between medium and medium high. Let that get warming up. And so what's going to go in here is the garlic. Will you rinse that off for me? It's going to be the garlic and the green onion and then the crushed red pepper that I chopped up. Those things are going to go into this and kind of get cooked. Now it also called for cloves of garlic. I'm not messing with all that either. I buy my garlic in this already ready to go because it's just something else for me to have to deal with if I have to cut it up. So I'm going to use 3, and then I'm just going to get a little bit more because garlic, come on. Alright. There's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and knock these red pepper flakes in. And the green onion. Get that stuff kind of ready to rock. Get some red pepper flakes on my arm. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of move this over here. And I'm going to let this start to cook, and then I'll hop back with you after it starts to simmer a little bit, because right now it's still relatively cold. So we're just moving right along here. It's starting to sizzle a little bit. I'm just going to cook it down. I'll probably speed this up some so it's not quite so long of a video just watching me like saute some green onions. It smells really, really good. It's nothing but garlic and onion and these crushed red pepper flakes, but man, it smells good. I did add a little bit more oil, spray, cooking spray or whatever, just to get a little bit better coverage because I needed a little bit more on the onions to get them to kind of start to wilt good. Main thing is just keep stirring it because it will not take much to burn these green onions, especially the really green part. Also, the garlic will burn in a heartbeat too, so you got to be careful of that. And just kind of keep it moving in the pan until it all sort of softens up a little bit. And then once it does, which it's starting to get a little brown, which is kind of what I'm looking for, I'm about to throw the chicken in, and we'll just keep moving right along with it. You want to smell it? Alright, let me go ahead and I'm going to hit a little bit more. I'm going to turn this down to medium a little bit because the pan's getting just a little bit too hot. I'm going to hit it with a little bit more oil spray. And I'm going to go ahead and dump my chicken. And I'm going to try and just get this chicken to brown up a little bit. It's not necessarily going to be to cook all the way through. Had a straggler. I'm not going to try to get it cooked all the way through right now. I'm just going to try to brown it up a little bit. And then once I kind of have it browned up, I'll add the sauce into this and let it sit and simmer. And that'll be kind of the end point for this recipe. Trying to turn it over a little bit to get that most of that garlic and stuff off of the very, very bottom. I don't want that to burn. Alright. I love this pan. This is one of my main meal prep pans. I got it at Sam's Club for like 25 bucks or 30. It's either 20 or 29, I'm not sure. 25 or 29. But it's huge. It works really great for doing like multiple days worth of meals. So it works really awesome for the meal preps. Alright, the timer just went off on the salsa chicken, so I'm going to pull it out and we'll try to take a look at it real quick and see how it's doing. Let's see here. I cranked the heat back up a little bit because I wasn't really getting any brown at all. I went too far with it a minute ago. Alright, here is the salsa chicken. Let's check that temperature again. There's back there. That's still not quite there. That's showing 148. Let me check another chicken breast just to make sure. Well, 150, 154. That's not enough either. So I'm going to go for another probably 10 more minutes. And see how it does. Okay, put this back in. Okay. Alright, so this is coming along pretty good. It's not really doing a whole lot of browning, but that's okay. The chicken, being that it was, you know, fresh chicken that I cut up into chunks, it's not, it releases a lot of its juices, so, you know, oftentimes you don't really get a lot of good color on it to start with, which is fine. I just wanted to get it started cooking first. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put the sauce in here and let it start doing its thing. Some of this chicken's just about done all the way through. Some of it's still a little bit pink, but that's okay either way, because I'm going to let it simmer until everything thickens up really good. And if I have to, I'll put the lid on it and let it go that way. So let me remove this. You really can't see this, but Let's see what happens if we move back to here. Alright, that's okay. Alright, so like I was saying, I think almost all of the cornstarch sunk to the bottom, like always happens. So I just gotta kind of give it a quick whisk one more time. And make sure all that's really incorporated pretty good. I almost feel like I should drain a little bit of this liquid off of the chicken, but I don't know, it'll probably be okay. No, I'm going to drain a little bit of this off. So I'll hop back on here in just a second after I've drained some of this liquid off the chicken. Alright, so I got that drained. I got that a little bit, so I drained some of the liquid off. I'll show you kind of what I did here. That's how much liquid I drained out. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was a little. Alright. Okay, so now that I've done that, now that some of the liquid's out of the way, or out of the pot, I'm gonna go ahead and add the sauce. I gotta whisk it again because it obviously, the cornstarch will not stay in suspension. So if you want to pull close to right here. Alright, and I'm gonna add this. Pop that right there. Get rid of that. And I'm just going to kind of keep giving this a little bit of a stir. It's going to take a couple minutes for it to come back to a simmer, but once it does, it should start to thicken pretty quick. Because the cornstarch should, as it heats up, let it sort of start to set. I'm up to about medium-high heat. I didn't turn that back on, so I'll do that now. Okay, the timer just went back off again, so I'm going to pull that salsa chicken back out and check it, hopefully for the last time. Okay. And my General Tso's chicken up here, it's moving right along. The sauce is thickened up pretty good. I'm about to go ahead and pull it here in just a minute and we're gonna call it done too. If the salsa chicken ends up being finished. Try to get that probe in there better. Alright, we're getting upwards 168, almost 170. There's 169, so that one's good. I'm gonna check a couple more just to make sure that we're fine. I don't handle undercooked. Oops, I went through that one. I went through it again. $170 on that one. We're at 170 on that one. 172. Check this guy, and if we're good, then I'm going to go ahead and say we're finished. Yep, that's good. So this is no points. This is 0 points. I don't know if I don't think I have the macros. I've not put this into my MyFitnessPal because I don't typically eat it. This is what we usually do for Elena, and but I do have the nutrition information as far as the calories and stuff on the General So's. So with that salsa chicken, I'm just gonna kind of let it chill for a little while. But what I'll do is I'll take each chicken breast out, put them into like a Rubbermaid tub, and if she wants it, I might do a little bit of sliced cheese on top, or not sliced cheese, but shredded cheese. I'll either use the fat-free cheddar and mozzarella and just use a small amount of each, because that's 0 points, or I might do up to about a quarter of a cup, or up to a quarter of a cup of the Great Value reduced fat, or the reduced fat Fiesta blend shredded cheese. We like that a lot too, and it melts really well, so I may put some of that on top. If I was going to eat it, I'd probably top it with a little bit of hot sauce, but so she'll have, what's that, that's 5 chicken breasts, that's 5 meals. She works 3 days a week, so she's going to have 3 chicken breasts to take to work, and then 1 or 2 extras for if I decide I need something in the evening, or if she wants to eat it before we get to the work week, because it's still Thursday. So I'm kind of ahead of the game. Usually we're not doing meal prep until Friday or Saturday. Alright, I'm going to say this is good. The General So's should be pretty close to being finished. I mean, I think it's done anyway. But it ended up, I'm gonna take this and end up doing about 6 servings out of it. I could go 8, but it's 1 point either way. I do like to have a good amount of protein, so I feel like 6 servings is probably a good place for this. And I'll portion it up with my food scale here in a little bit, and I'll probably just add a picture of everything once it's all prepped and in the containers it's going to live in. I'll just add a picture to the video because I'm not going to be recording that long. We're going to finish this up, and then I'm going to move everything out of the way and get our dinner together. But 6 servings on the General So's. It's going to be 1 point per serving, and I've got it figured in MyFitnessPal at 363 calories per serving. My plan is to serve this with steamed broccoli that I'm gonna use this Kung Pao stir fry sauce, and let me check what it counts on. I think it'll just be probably a point or 2 maybe for the serving of the broccoli. Alright y'all, so I got everything finished up and I went ahead and bowled everything, so we actually went ahead and completely finished meal prep. I'm fixing to go ahead and finish up, get started with dinner because it is 7 o'clock. It's time to eat again. So this is what I ended up with. I got 5 chicken breasts with the salsa. So they ended up just about like this. I put a little bit of the juice from the bottom of the pan in there with it. And again, this is 0 points. And what I'll probably do, if she decides she wants it, I may do 1 serving of the reduced fat shredded Fiesta blend cheese. That's 3 points, and that'll make her chicken breast be a 3-point lunch. Probably that's what I would do. I think. I don't know that it would be a little bit better if you have the cheese on top. She's ate it the last few times without any cheese, so it'd just be a 0-point meal. And then the General Tso's chicken, it came out to be 6 servings, like I said, 1 point per serving. The flavor is really good. It's got a little bit of heat, but not so much so that it's off-putting. I really like it. This is the first time I've tried it, and I think I'll definitely do it again. And I'm going to serve it with the broccoli that I'm going to do. And I was talking earlier about the Kung Pao stir-fried sauce. I'm going to use this, and I think 4 points for 4 or 5 tablespoons. So once I get the broccoli steamed, I'll basically just coat it with this and kind of heat through in my big pan that I used tonight for this. So that'll give me I'm gonna say that won't be more than a couple of points. It's not gonna. It definitely won't be It won't be more than a 1 point per serving. So 2-point lunch was what it end up being. Well, that's it for my meal prep for this week coming. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit shaky still. I'm trying to get the gist of it. I got to get a different camera because this thing's a little bit difficult to deal with just me doing it. So Elena's been in the background helping get the camera started and stopped. It's also been acting funny and only letting me do 5-minute bursts of videos, so that's going to be a whole different animal when I go to try to do the editing tomorrow. So we'll see how that plays out. But bear with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if there's any questions that you might have, just let me know in the comments, and I'll try to get back with you as quick as I can. I'll also link I'm not going to link them. I'm going to put the recipes in the description box, and I will also put in my points values and the macros from MyFitnessPal. The points values will be for Blue. I'm not sure how the points work on the other plans, but I will try to do some research on that, and if I can come up with that, then I'll have those in there listed also, but expect Blue for sure. If you, again, have any questions, just let me know. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so that you'll get notified when I have another video come out. And hopefully I'll see you again really soon.